For the 5th time this year, I'm starting to lose count. The Xbox is officially dead and they're going full third party. Now, what does that really mean? I mean, Xbox, at least for like the last 10 years, it feels like, they haven't really had exclusive games anyway. They've all come to PC day one. But what it really is their games will be coming to the PlayStation, probably the Switch and its successor. On the first day, there's not going to be any timed exclusivity. They're basically giving up on Xbox hardware, and everything's going to go everywhere. They're going to be one of the biggest third-party publishers out there. Now, many people will say, oh, not this again, we've heard this before, rumours, they do the rounds, and then it ends up being a big nothing. I don't really think that's the case. The writing has been on the wall for a long time that Xbox has gotten too big. They've bought Activision Blizzard, they've obviously bought Bethesda with Fallout, the Elder Scrolls. Eventually, this was always going to happen. If the Xbox console couldn't grow and be the leading player, then they would start to put their games everywhere. I think with rumours falling over, there was talk about, say, Starfield coming to the PS5. It was definitely going to happen. Then it didn't get announced, and people thought, oh, this is all fake. No, the Xbox, it's here to stay. The fanboys, they're blessed, they're happy. That was pretty much just cope. This was always going to happen. It was just a matter of time. When are all these games going to start to come to the PS5 and so on? Is it going to be immediate? Is it going to be staged? Or is it going to be a slow drip feed of games? Either way, we're probably going to find out officially pretty soon. But I will say first up, I don't really care about the Xbox ecosystem, Game Pass, any of that crap. I used to play on an Xbox like 10, 12 years ago. Those were darker times for PC. You've got to remember that the PC, there wasn't always Steam in a great place. There were some pretty torrid times. But these days, I mainly play on PC, and I think a lot of people have moved over from, say, an Xbox to this PC, especially these days where there's not really any Xbox exclusives. What's the point of owning one if you can get it all on PC, plus a lot more? But the rumours that I'll go into, they actually do suggest that Xbox may end up becoming like a Steam box, essentially, kind of like the Steam Deck, where you can play your Steam games on, say, a console branded with Xbox, but it's essentially just a small budget PC. So I think that's of interest, even if you don't play on an Xbox or really care. If you're more on PC, some of this might be relevant. And this all kind of started with one of the bigwigs at Xbox, Sarah Bond. She announced the Xbox Showcase for June 9th, and that's where we're going to have all of the heavy hitters. Avowed, didn't that look good last time? That didn't look like it was going nowhere. Call of Duty, many others, I'm sure. They're going to present them, but then she did this. She put a green heart and a blue one. So what does that mean? Does it mean green for Xbox and blue for PlayStation? Is this confirmation that every game's going to come to the PS5? I thought that was a bit of a reach. Some people, as you can see, circled this in and sort of, oh my god, it's happening, PlayStation's going to get everything. That didn't really suggest a lot to me. But then this Jez Corden person, sometimes they're a bit of a clown, a bit of a fanboy for Xbox, but given the fact that they are very much all in on anything Xbox related, they seem to be a bit of a fanboy. When they're saying that absolutely everything is coming to PlayStation, this post kind of breaks this down, what this Jez character said. All Xbox first-party games coming to PlayStation, even Forza and Halo. When they're saying that, a big Xbox fan, that's when I start to think maybe this actually is happening quite soon. Now, again, it's not just this particular rumor, and now we're going to do the circus again of, oh my god, panic stations, Xbox is dead, that's a worry, because some people might think, oh, they're just going to walk that back in a week, and we're just going to be back where we started, like we were with the Starfield rumors. Again, the reason I'm talking about this is the writing has been on the wall for a long time. It's just a matter of when. The question will be, is now the time? Is it going to happen now? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Even if it doesn't, I don't think it means, oh, these rumors are fake. I just think it means the can's been kicked down the road and Xbox might pull the rug out a little bit later, maybe at the end of the year or something. But this could be happening. The 4 games that came to PlayStation, Sea of Thieves, Pentiment, Grounded, I can't even remember the others, but they have apparently sold very well on PlayStation. Now, I don't think regardless of those sales, it would have actually affected Microsoft's plans. I think they were always bringing everything over. they talked about testing the waters, but that's not really true because they would have spent ages on those ports. And I'm sure they've got others in the works. They're not just sitting there waiting because to develop, say, Starfield for PS5, it's going to take a bit of time. They have to do that in advance. So I'm sure all of that's already happening. But the sales were great, so this kind of just confirms more games will be coming across to PlayStation, probably Switch, anything else later on. I'm sure Switch as well. Where it is sketchy for Microsoft is they don't want to lose everything they've got overnight, because if they announce today Xbox is dead, we're moving everything to PlayStation, what does that mean for their customers? Does everyone suddenly start unsubbing from Game Pass? Game Pass hasn't hit the numbers Phil Spencer, for instance, wants. They wanted huge monthly user numbers. That hasn't happened, but they still got something like 20, 25 plus million subscribers, so to lose that immediately, that can't happen for them. They'll be in big panic mode if that was the case. So they're trying to be careful. They'll never use words like Xbox is dead, forget about us. It'll be more business speak like they did with that Xbox business update, but you've got to see the writing on the wall. If they come out and talk about, hey, games are coming to PlayStation, turn your brain off there. Don't listen to anything that Phil Spencer says after that, because it's going to be excuses, it's going to be manipulative to try and convince you, oh no, Xbox is fine. Keep buying microtransactions for games on Xbox. Keep buying third-party games on Xbox, because they want the sales, but they're just giving up really on their customers and growing the Xbox ecosystem. They don't care, but they still want to get some money for it. So don't expect them to say it's dead. There'll be excuses, but if you hear that all the games are coming to PS5, that's all you really need to hear. That's when you will know the truth is out. Now, going to these rumors in more detail, this Jez Corden character says Xbox will be more Steam-like in the future. That seems fine. Some people, they don't want to play at their desk, keyboard and mouse all the time. They want basically the console experience. They just happen to be using a PC. They might still use the TV, sit on the couch, whatever. If Xbox wants to do that, give people an option, I'm fine with it. For me, it's really about just not locking things away. We've had all this stuff with PlayStation where Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is a timed exclusive. That, to me, it wrecks the Final Fantasy brand, less people play it, and it's just bad for gaming. So Xbox doing this, being more Steam-like, I know that they're not locking anything away from PC right now, but I was always concerned that they could in the future. If Xbox grew because of the Bethesda purchase and Elder Scrolls 6, if it grew massively, they could change their mind and stop putting everything on PC day one. So this kind of confirms that won't happen, which I see as a good thing. Affordable prices, sales, more open for devs. I mean, again, that just sounds like Steam. Future Xbox hardware gonna be for fans who want it, which pretty much means Xbox is gone and Microsoft are not going to invest in it as much. I mean, that doesn't sound affordable to me. They mention affordable, so I would think prices would go up, if anything. They're not going to sell at a loss to build an ecosystem if they don't really care anymore, so I don't know about that. Xbox hardware will be niche like Steam Deck. There have actually been surveys going out from Xbox about handheld consoles, so they might be doing that too. It might literally be an Xbox Steam Deck. I'm fine with all of that. I don't personally own a Steam Deck, but it looks cool. But I do love the Nintendo Switch. That's the only console I really use some of the time. It's a really nice secondary gaming device, PC being my main platform. So I've always thought about it would be nice to have a handheld PC essentially as well. And I'm fine with that not necessarily being a Steam Deck if there's lots of different options out there that give you the same experience. You get to choose. Maybe there's one from Microsoft, there's one from other companies as well as Steam. It's nice to have that choice. I'm sure they'd all have their pros and cons, so that's fine if they want to go down that road. Next, Xbox will sideload Steam. So that basically would mean you can take your library with you. And I think they really need that, because if they want to be like a Steam Deck and compete in that space, then yeah, they can't expect you to buy all your games again for a Microsoft store, especially if they don't care anymore. They're not building up the Xbox ecosystem. There's no exclusive whatsoever. There's no benefits. So they really would have to do this if they're giving up on Xbox. So that's cool. Steam right now, it is good to the customer. That's always been their strategy. Now, Epic Games, they would say, oh, but Steam are bad to developers. Well, Epic went all in on supposedly supporting devs, but it came at the expense of the customer experience. So us, who are buying the games, Epic made it bad for us. Maybe better for the devs compared to Steam, but I think you can see why Steam wins, because you need to support the millions of people who actually purchase the games. You need to give them a good experience. Microsoft has struggled with that in the past as well, like the Microsoft Store. Rubbish, glitchy, it's had problems, which is odd to me, like the resources that they have, that they can't even get a working storefront. I don't really understand it. Epic's kind of the same. Shitty storefront. They've got all these resources from Fortnite, but they still screw it up. So Steam show it's not that easy. It can sound easy on paper, but Steam has always got it right. Putting Steam on Xbox, maybe that's the best thing to do. He goes on to say, I don't think they expect to ever grow in hardware, basically confirming Xbox is dead. They'll happily take your money, but they'll be laughing at you if you continue to do so, because they're not supporting it anymore. Now, the fanboy within this person, it does come out because he says nobody wants to give Xbox a chance. So this is what they get with a Sony monopoly, basically acting bitter and acting like it's our fault, everyone's fault, for not supporting Xbox and giving them a chance. How about you release some real games? Even your big IPs, Halo, Gears of... What have you done with them? Halo Infinite, the most bare bones campaign I've ever played. It was basically like a Ubisoft open world, but it didn't even have the collectibles, really. There was just nothing in there. It was just outposts to clear. I thought the combat was okay. It was fairly smooth, but it was pretty much nothing. To wait 6 years for that, it kind of felt like an early access game or something. It was just very average. And that was their big marquee product. They expect people to buy an Xbox for it. I am happy that PC Game Pass existed, because I did my $1 a month, played it. That's about what it was worth. I can't imagine people paying $80 for it on release, paying full price. And that seems to be Xbox's problem, because they've conditioned everyone to subscribe to Game Pass and not actually buy games. And I really do feel like this is part of why this is happening. It's not just, oh, no one's buying an Xbox. It's also the people who've purchased one, they don't buy anything. They sub to Game Pass for whatever it is now, like $15 a month, maybe 20, and they never buy a new release. With how expensive games are to make now, I can't help but think that Xbox are panicking, and they're thinking, all right, so no one buys these games, but we can't break the promise of day one Game Pass. We can try and sort of scheme people like we've seen with Escape from Tarkov. There's that whole controversy where they're pretending something's DLC when it's not. Microsoft could try that and go, oh no, this is technically not a new release. They'll use some business speak. It's not really a new game, so therefore it's not on Game Pass day one. They could pull something like that. But I don't think they're going to. I think they're going, you know what, Game Pass doesn't work, people don't buy the games, let's just put them on PlayStation, call it a day, kill off the Xbox, that's just much easier. It seems like that is happening. So I don't really know if all these details are factual, but I do think that the conclusion that Xbox is basically dead, I do think that is going to be the case. People were coping a couple of months ago, oh no, it's just these 4 games. Phil Spencer has spoken. Everyone who said that Xbox is going to be third party, they're lying. I really do think it was just a big cope. This is just further suggesting that the whole Xbox showcase. It'll just be interesting to see if that's where they pull the rug out and they try and make it this huge positive that everything's coming to PlayStation. It might be a positive because maybe PlayStation fans can be louder than the Xbox ones who are crying and they're upset because they've wasted all their time on the ecosystem. Maybe it looks like a net positive, but at the end of the day, Xbox is going to be gone. Whether it happens in June or it happens down the track, if they put it off for as long as possible, that's really the question. It's a matter of when. But Xbox will be gone. For me, the question's just going to be, will PlayStation use this as an excuse to delay PC releases? Or will they go, you know what, we don't really have that direct competition now, let's just put everything on PC. Because PC isn't really competition. People who are on there, they're not going to move to PlayStation. They're not going to waste their money spending $500 on a PS5 just to play a game earlier or something. Maybe that can be a good thing for us who just want to stick to the PC platform primarily. We don't want our libraries split everywhere. So I hope that happens, that this ultimately ends up being a good thing for PC gamers. Thanks so much for listening. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.